And then that's the incident with Patricia we spoke about where Trump assaulted you, tortured you, and then Trump wanted you to engage in sex with Trump, and you found the tent peg and got a condom on, and then inserted the condom in Trump's anus, just
and kicked it as hard as I could.
And kicked as hard as you could. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And my plan was to continue hurting him to death, but as soon as I did that, he started screaming, and those same people busted back in. So.
And then what occurred?
My dad was at that party, obviously not in that room. It was just these other people, but we did not get assaulted or anything at that party. They didn't know what to do at that point. So we left. We didn't get beat up. I didn't get further assaulted by anyone, but some period of time passed, a week, 2 weeks, 6 weeks. I couldn't tell you how much time, but I can remember my dad saying, "We've got to go face the music." So, I can remember him talking to me like I had done something wrong. He said, "You can't do that to the rich people. You're going to get beat up," is basically what he said. He said, "You've been beat up before. It's going to be just like that. You'll be okay." But I can remember him saying, "You can't fight back or they'll kill us both."
Mm-hmm. And that's when you were taken to the farm, and then 6 or 8, maybe 10 different groups assaulted and tortured you.
This is like, it was at least 3 or 4 or 5 people at a time in these groups, because I think by that point I had done what I did to Trump. They knew that I was kind of in a homicidal type of rage, so they made sure to have enough people that they felt safe, because also my dad could fight too, and he was there.
Mm-hmm.
So they had, in each of these little groups, they had enough that they felt that I'm sure that they could overpower both me and my dad, because my dad's no slouch either. I could fight like a little Wolverine even as a child because of how I came up. Well, he was a bare-knuckle boxer and a tough man type of dude, so he could fight too. But it was like they took us from station to station, to, I don't know, just to increase the horror of it, I guess. I really...
Premeditated. Seems like premeditated.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
what I know of Trump is that Trump would attempt to premeditatedly stage such a scene to terrorize you retaliatorily.
Yes. Yes.
So
he wasn't there at that. I would assume that it was a close enough time frame that he was still recovering.
Yeah.
But I can remember that even my dad having the conversation with the people, because of the level that they had kind of taken it to get me to that homicidal rage. I remember my dad arguing that it was unreasonable. He said, this is just what happens when you push somebody far enough,
So then
type of an argument.
So then they took you to different locations, several groups at a time, tortured and assaulted you sexually, and then at one point you said they hosed you off with a garden hose. And what did they say again to your dad? That you were dirty and to hose you off?
Just that they said he's disgusting. Just take a garden hose to him or something. And somebody went inside the house and got a bar of soap. And I remember they threw it at me and hit me in the head, and that they all thought that was funny. And I was struggling because I had to get the soap from the ground, and I can remember being hit to the point where I was just having trouble grasping the soap. Not just from a standpoint of like being able to see it, but like from the coordination aspect of it. Mm-hmm. Just because I'd been hit in the head and body and everything so much that I even had difficulty in getting the soap. So they made me like take a shower while they stood there with the garden hose just hosing me off. And I can remember getting really cold from that. But then it wasn't over. That would have been about the halfway point.
And you said it was sexual assault followed by beatings in all of those cases.
Yes. Some people didn't even want to sexually assault me. Some people just wanted to beat the hell out of me. So not all of them, they got to do whatever they wanted, but with all of the different people, it included some sort of physical assault, physical and sexual assault, or just the physical. There weren't any instances of just sexual assault. It was around causing damage to me, and towards the end of it, I can remember my dad saying he can't take anymore, he's going to die.
Yeah.
And, at that point he had like drugged me, because I couldn't walk or anything, to one of the groups. And they said, if he can't take any more, it's not over with. You're going to have to take the rest of it. And he said, fine, because I'm going to go to jail to kill him. So they beat the absolute hell out of him, too.
Okay.
I can remember my dad kind of carried me away from the last, group of people. And I think he had to change clothes or something for me. And it took a while, 30 minutes or something, but I finally got clear enough I could breathe and everything, to where I walked out of there with help.
And then is that when they took you to Andy Biggs? Or Andy Biggs tortured and raped you?
Not immediately thereafter, but another week or two passed, or maybe a month, week, two, whatever. I was healed as far as my most of my bruises and stuff like that from the first farm incident by the time I went to Andy Biggs. And of the physical assaults, it was the worst. He kept beating me until my ribs were broken. I was turning blue, convulsing. If you get beaten enough, as you try to breathe, you just kind of click. I can't describe it any other way than that. It's not even a wheezing or anything, but your like diaphragm or something locks up and you just start clicking. Some people call that like the death rattle.
Yeah.
But that's the point to which he beat me, to where when I would try to breathe, my chest would just make this clicking noise. I don't know how to describe it any other way.
No, you described that extremely, extremely clearly. Like I say, I appreciate your forthrightness. Now, you and I had spoken, and you said that your dad told you that after the incident with Andy Biggs, that your dad said that Trump and Trump's associates said that whatever debt they thought you owed because you fought back against Trump, that the debt was paid, and the debt was you getting raped and beaten brutally by all those individuals, including Andy Biggs.
Yes.
And then you said that you don't recall attending any more parties after that, and you weren't sure if it was because they thought you aged out because you were 12 or 13, or whether they just thought you were too much of a hassle, like they could get caught.
I think all of that came into play, yes.
Or they might wanted to behave vindictive towards your dad about whatever money your dad was earning. Do you think that?
I couldn't speak to any of that part of it. I'm not even sure like the financial arrangements or anything like that. Yeah. I can remember that when they sent me to the brothel, that they were upset that they didn't make more money, and then I can remember Lynn being absolutely furious because they were going to get this big payday from doing the child porn in Tennessee, but they wound up losing money on the deal because they got stiffed by whoever bought the film when it was done, and they had to spend, I think, some money on a lawyer, so it was a net loss for them.